the best and worst Giants other than Andre the Giant.
Ah, the best and worst other than Andre?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to have to say during my time, and I'll stick to my time, then I'll bring you up to the modern time. Ernie Ladd was, good gosh, 7 foot, I think, legit, or at least 6'9", and he was as tall as Andre. So, that was the hype. That was great, but Andre had looked, obviously, you could say 7'4", and people go, oh my God, because nobody's going to go up to Andre and say, hey, let me got a tape measure here, Andre. Can we measure you? So everybody would accept. But I think Ernie Ladd was one of the great Giants, and highly. No, I don't think he was underrated. They rated Ernie pretty damn high everywhere he went, and he was impressive. I think, obviously, and I hate to pick on him, but El Gigante was not the best Giant in the world. Obviously, Kevin Nash was a pretty good Giant. It doesn't matter what we do in the ring all the time. Obviously, Kevin was great on promos. Kevin had a great presence. Kevin was personable. He made you watch when he whatever he did. You wanted to see what he was capable of doing. So I think Ernie Ladd and Kevin Nash were certainly two of my favorites. Uncle Elmer, the big Stan Frazier guy, they put him in a Lone Ranger mask in Memphis, so they couldn't recognize him. So, but he was a nice guy. He just was a big old fella that was big and didn't know his own strength sometimes. And but he wasn't. I don't know that he was very entertaining in the ring as the Giant Hillbilly or the Lone Ranger. So they made him a hillbilly in WWE, let him get married, and all that good stuff. But I didn't think he was one of the better ones. So I'd go with Ernie Ladd and Kevin as two of the best ones, and Uncle Elmer and El Gigante as two of my not so favorites.
Did you ever see Silo Sam?
Oh my God, in Dallas?
Yes.
Well, not live. I saw him on some tape. Yeah, I saw him on some YouTube
Probably
stuff.
could have seen him from space.
Well, I don't know. I've been in space a few times. I can see him. But the thing is, back in those days, if you looked up the part, I just saw a real quick thing on Lance Von Erich the other day, the way he was discovered. David Manning came up to him on the golf course. What? So, I mean, but that would happen back then. They would see somebody who looked good and approach him and say, hey, man, you ever thought about wrestling? Sometimes they look and say, get out of my face, or, well, maybe. So, if you saw a big guy, you can't teach 6'9", you can't teach 6'4" or 6'5". If you can get him in there and he has an aptitude for it, well, man, you never know. And that's kind of how it was those back then. In the Wild West days, you took a chance, brought him down to the sportatorium and saw if he had any feel for this, or if you wanted to do this or not, see what you could get out of it. I think Silo Sam was one of those experiments.
I'd never forgive myself if I didn't ask you this as well. Did you ever go out drinking with Andre the Giant?
Yes, I did. When I first started in LA, especially, we'd go to Original Joe's in San Jose, right across from the arena, and he bought Crown Royals for everybody, 4 at a time, and pay for the steaks, pay for everything. I've been out with Andre a few times, yeah, and it was always a blur. A lot of fun, because there's always a crowd and always attention. But yeah, it was very much a mind eraser.
Yeah. Well, I take it if it's a mind eraser, you won't know maybe his record numbers that you saw him put down.
I've seen no. I wasn't counting at that time. I wasn't counting anything. I don't think any of us were. We just know there was never an empty glass. I mean, you finished one, you had another, and sometimes, my God, you look around and it was a sea of Crown Royal. So yeah.